A Father's Day reservation ends in tragedy. This story takes place when I was a service manager. It was coming up on Father's Day, and we had almost got fully booked up on reservations. I received a phone call from a lady, and we'll just call her Sarah for story's sake. And Sarah was inquiring about a reservation for Father's Day for 6 people. And I did let her know we have very limited spots available, but give me the time frame and I'll check and I'll see what I can do. Put Sarah on hold and I started looking through our reservation system and realized the time frame that she was wanting, I was fully booked up for. So I had to get back on the phone and let Sarah know, like, hey, I can't take your reservation for six during that time frame because we are actually fully booked. And I could hear her voice start cracking, and she started kind of breaking down on the phone, and she was begging me, is there any way that I could please work it out? That this Father's Day was going to be super special, and she really needed this reservation. She had gotten busy, and time had slipped away, and she had forgot to make it in advance, and this was her husband's favorite place to eat. Sarah went on to tell me the reason why this Father's Day was so special is her oldest son, his real dad, had not been in his life since he was like 2 years old, and he was 13. And he was going to surprise her husband Jeff by asking him to adopt him. He went on to say that Jeff had been a godsend to her, that she had been in a horrible marriage before, and she had gotten out barely scraping by, her and her 4 kids. Jeff came in at the right time, and he was like a guardian angel. And he took care of her and treated her kids just like his own. So I'm not going to lie, it did pull at my heartstrings, and I could feel the love that this lady had for her husband Jeff. So I told her, yeah, you know what? Let me get your information and I'm going to make it happen for you. And Sarah was overly excited. Like, she was like thanking me so much on the phone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Like, so that Saturday night before Father's Day, I get a phone call from Sarah, and all she's doing is verifying the time and asking could she bring a cake and balloons in. And I told her that was fine, and we would put the cake in the cooler. And she also said that she and her rest of her kids were going to get there at the time that she made the reservation for, but she told her husband Jeff it was going to be 30 minutes later so she could get the table set up to surprise him. So it's Father's Day and we're super busy. And the host comes and lets me know that there's a lady wanting to talk to me up front. As soon as I go up front, I see this lady, and she has a teenager and 3 other kids with her. She has the biggest smile on her face. She's holding balloons and a cake. And her 13-year-old son shook my hand and told me he really appreciated me making this work out for them. And I told him it wasn't no issue. I'm glad I could do it. And I led them over to their table so they could get set up for Jeff's arrival. I'm taking her cake and putting it in the cooler. And as I'm doing that, I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, I can't wait to meet this Jeff guy. Anybody that steps up with someone else's kids and treats them like their own, like, to me, I hold them in high regard. As they're settling in, I went ahead and I surprised them with a couple of appetizers on me. And it was just a few minutes before Jeff was set to arrive. Well, the time come for Jeff to arrive, and no Jeff. And it got to be 10 minutes past time that she told Jeff to be there. And she had been calling him and didn't get any answer. Sarah was even telling the server she tried calling Jeff's mom. Jeff's mom haven't heard from him. Jeff's dad hasn't heard from him. His brother hasn't heard from him. And she's getting really concerned. I'm in the kitchen setting up food for another table when the server that's taking care of Sarah's group comes running through the kitchen, screaming at me to come out here now. I followed the server out to the table. Sarah and all the kids are standing up, and Sarah is like inconsolable. She's like wailing and crying. Her son's crying, the little kids are crying, and she can barely get any words out. All I can make out is, Jeff was in an accident. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go to the hospital now. We don't. Server that was taken care of and was really shook up, and I was kind of shook up too because I felt so bad for this lady that she had planned all of this and the way she talked about her husband. Well, after the busy shift, I'm in the office doing paperwork, and something inside me was just like, you know what? I got a friend at the sheriff's office. Let me call him and just see if he has any information about maybe a car accident that happened in town. And I know I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not supposed to do this, and he's not supposed to give me that information. But we've been friends for a long time, and I did tell him about the situation, and he was like, hey, hold on just a second. Let me look up some things and some reports, and I'll get back with you. And I get a text back that lets me know that there was a fatal car accident involving a guy named Jeff, and that it happened around the time that the lady had to leave with her party. It's like really upset me, and I actually broke down in the office because I felt so bad. Even though I had never met this guy, I felt like I knew Jeff just by hearing like the kids talk about him and Sarah talk about him.